Oh, wait, it's done. Hey, hey, hey. Cindy Lou here today with my inaugural very first Shortcut How-To's with the pros. And I'm so excited to be bringing you one of my favorite tools. And Hani has been so amazing with all of the customer support and help over the last, I think I've been with you for now 2.5 years. And it's been amazing and so simple. I will never forget the first time I used Repurpose and I moved all of my videos, and I didn't know at the time that I should choose. But anyway, I moved all of my videos from Facebook to YouTube overnight while I slept. And I woke up in the morning and there were like 358 videos on there. Everything from like, hey, I'm just here to say hi to my kids. So my YouTube channel was a mess for a while. I think I unlisted a lot of it, and now I'll go back and do it the right way. That's one reason I wanted to bring you on here, is like, teach us the right way. Because sometimes we get these new programs and we dive in and we get help from somebody who kind of knows a little bit but doesn't really know how it works. So when I bring on the pros, when I bring on somebody who's like, this is your program, you know it inside and out. Oh, so yeah. I'm so excited. Tell the folks a little bit more about you.
Yeah, so my name is Hani Mourra. I'm based in Toronto, Canada, and yeah, I'm a geek. I'm a software automation content geek. That's the best way to do it. So I always loved content as a kid. I was always the kid who would take all the little footage from old school cameras and any video from the family and put it together into a cool video so we can all sit around and watch it and enjoy the experience. I've always loved video as a kid, and getting into the online world is always about YouTube was the biggest thing, and from a marketing perspective, YouTube's a search engine. So anyway, I've always been involved in video, always loved video, and then started blogging about video, maybe 2009, and teaching about video marketing. And then a few years later, I said, you know what, I need to build something. I need to build a solution to help content creators make the most and get the most exposure for their videos. And it took probably 7 years of different softwares that we still have around to come to where we are now with our latest and greatest, which is Repurpose.io.
Which I love. So are you actually the designer, or do you hire people in to create? How are you?
Yeah, so I call myself kind of like the architect. So it's like I'm a content creator myself, so I understand what we need as content creators. Architect it, block it out. Okay, we got to go from here to here to here. Customers tell us what they want, of course, as well. And then I have a team. The team started as one person. Now we're up to 7 people. It's just, you need a team. Whatever your business you're in, whatever, when you grow, you need help. So I know technical stuff. I love reading geeky documents called API documents, which is how we connect different softwares together. But more importantly, I understand as a content creator, and obviously our customers tell us what they need and what they're trying to accomplish with basically trying to create the content one time and getting it out to multiple platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so excited about some of the new stuff that I've seen that you've added, some of the new platforms that we can go in and out from. So yes. I'm going to just say, for those who haven't met me before, I'm Cindy Lou. I'm the creator and founder of Becoming Bold, or the author of Becoming Bold You, which is a book all about the Be Bold You personality expression system. So I'm the creator of that. And I help people to figure out who they are, who they want to show up in as the world. And I help give voice to your message. And that means you already know what your message is. You know exactly what you're doing. You know the message you want to get out, but you're like going, how do I put this online? How do I get all these pieces to work? And I know it can go to like Twitter, and it can go to LinkedIn, and it can go, but I don't want to have to like be on all those platforms all the time. This program today is what I use in order to get that stuff everywhere without having to be everywhere, other than to follow up. You still have to follow up with people in order to connect with them. That's your human part. But if you can take the 3 to 6 to 10 to 12 hours of moving video from one platform to another, downloading it, making it the right format and all of that stuff, if you can take that work time down to maybe 2 or 3 hours a week, you're going to have a lot more time to connect with people. and you'll actually
Yes.
do your business and get your message out. So that's what I do. And that's what I help people to do, help you do your logos, help you do layouts, help you get your book put together, all the kind of things that give voice to your message, whatever that would entail. So it could be a lot of different things.
Yeah, amazing. No, I love what you said about the human interaction. That's key. Automation software like ours and others out there are great for getting your content out, but you got to interact. You got to engage with your audience, engage with people who like it, engage, comment back. It's so important. It's so important from have a human aspect. I mean, automation solves one problem with getting the content out, but it doesn't solve the problem of talking to your audience.
Exactly. But I don't want to use up all of our time with talking about. So will you show us what Repurpose will do? And I'm actually going to mute myself and let you kind of take over the screen. I will
Absolutely.
share the stream. You're going to see us twice, guys. Now he's
All
going to
right.
bring up, there we go. He's going to bring
Okay.
that up. And when he is done, I will come back and I'm going to let you go ahead, and I'll unmute if I feel like there's a question that needs more clarity or something like that, and just ask you a
Absolutely.
question.
Anytime. I'm going to talk and talk and talk, but please feel free to interrupt me anytime. I'm
Okay.
happy to dive in deeper on anything. So before we dive into the software, I'm just going to spend like a minute, 30 seconds, just kind of giving you the bird's eye view, giving everyone the goal here. I mean, the goal is to take one piece of content. Let's assume it's a video. This video can be a live stream like we're doing now, or it could be a video you've recorded on your phone. It doesn't matter. Any video piece of content can be turned into at least 28 pieces of content and scheduled out to all the different platforms. And that's the goal. So you're going to create once, publish everywhere. So one video equals 28 pieces of little clips of videos derived from that one video. And you can use our platform to schedule it out. So for example, you take a Facebook Live, you can send it to YouTube as a full video. You can take clips, 5 clips, get them onto Instagram and Instagram TV in the vertical format. You can do some cool effects as well, like burning in the captions right in the video. I'll walk you through all that stuff. And then you can do square videos for LinkedIn, for Facebook, etc. And last but not least, you can take the entire video that you've done, the Facebook Live or whatever video you have. I mean, we've even integrated Zoom recordings, so it could be a Zoom recording you've done, or it could be any file that's sitting in your Dropbox folder that you want to repurpose out to different platforms. But last but not least, you can get it into audio format. A lot of video people always forget that there are a whole segment of audiences that just want to listen on the go. So by turning your video content into audio, it's an amazing way to attract a whole new listener base. And so our platform can automatically do that for you as well. I'm going to walk through the software in more details, but similarly, if you're an audio creator, if you're a podcaster that starts with audio content, you can do something very similar. You can start with audio and get your audios turned into videos. Our videos have some moving dynamics to it, so it's not just a static image. And you do the same kind of strategy. You get it onto YouTube, make a bunch of clips, the key takeaways, funny moments from your interview, get them onto Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, etc. in the right format, vertical or square. So once you set this all up, our system basically will take care of all the converting of audio to video into the right dimensions, helps you make the clips that you want, etc. There's so much into it, but I just want to cover the strategy. Any questions about the strategy? I think it's pretty straightforward.
I think that
Create once,
strategy
publish
is,
everywhere.
yeah, right. I think the strategy is pretty and this is the strategy. Let me turn my camera back on. This is a strategy that so many people are looking for, right? They're like, I've got all this great content. I've had it for a long time, but where do I go with it? How do I get it from here to there? And this is, create it once, break it up, chunk it up, and get it out there.
Yes, and actually, Matt, you brought up a good point. Our platform is an automation platform, so it does things. It can do a lot of this stuff automatically, but also, like I said, you have a backlog, you have a history, you have a hard drive full or a Facebook page full of videos. You can just connect that to our system, and any video you've ever published on Facebook, or any video in your cloud recording, or any video in your Dropbox folder, even if it's 5 years old, it will show up and you can repurpose that as well. So there's a lot of opportunities to repurpose content you've already created, because the biggest drain is creating new content. That's exhausting. It's fun, but it's exhausting. By the time you get the content, you figure out what you want to say, shoot it a bunch of times, be happy with it. It's a process. So if you don't have to create, but you can still have content going out every day of the week, that is kind of where we're going with our platform. Okay, so these are the overview documents. By the way, if once you can grab those, you can grab PDFs of these from repurpose.io/workflows. You can just download this PDF as well if you're interested in having this, but it's also available in our software. So let me just kind of walk you inside our software. So it's all web-based. It's a web-based tool, which means you don't need to download any software. Nothing runs on your computer. You know, all the heavy lifting, the converting of videos, uploading, downloading, it's all happening, you know, in the cloud on our server. So, which means for you, it means there's nothing, it's not eating up your computer resources, your internet bandwidth. It doesn't matter how fast or how slow your internet is. It doesn't affect how our software works, because everything's handled on our side. Basically, there's two things that you need. Well, three things. One is all our help is here. We have links to all kinds of training videos, courses, cheat sheets, that workflow diagram I just showed you. It's all here. So if you ever need help, we also have live chat support. So our support is online, I think between 9 and 4 p.m. or 9 and 3 p.m. Eastern time, or available by email. But more importantly, the software itself. So there's two sections in the software. We have a connection.
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Yeah.
So just because he's only there from 9 to 3 or whatever, he gives you such attention when you need help. I just want you to know, like, Hani himself actually does the responding oftentimes. And you don't get that from every piece of software. So
we have a team. We do have a team, but I take personal pride. It's like if someone needs help, I don't want them to be stuck. So
there's also a Facebook group.
Yeah, there's a Facebook group. I'm active on there. There's also like our support team's there. They'll get an email. They'll respond by email. There's always ways to reach me if you need help, but our team always reaches me. So yes, you're taking, I guess, yeah, I appreciate that. And I take pride in it. Like I want to make sure I'm available. I can't be available, obviously, 9 to 5 myself all the time, but if things are stuck and not moving forward, I jump in to help. All right. So number one, two sections, number one and number two. So connections are the first section. So a connection is, let's just jump right to it, is basically your social media account, whether it's your Dropbox folder, your Facebook account, your LinkedIn, your Twitter. We integrate with a bunch of different services, and we're constantly integrating more and more as we go along. So the goal is just like any other social media app, you want to connect, give permission to our app to have access to your Facebook pages, your groups, your Twitter account, your YouTube account, whatever you plan on repurposing to and from, you connect it up to our system. It's a one-time step. And you never leave passwords. It's all done officially through all the integrations with Facebook, LinkedIn. We are an approved app. We had to get approval from Facebook, YouTube. Any integration we have, we had to get approval from the companies themselves. So there's an audit process. So, I mean, if it's an audio podcast, it's probably the simplest way. You just say add connection, give it a name, Hani's podcast, and then you can, if you know your podcast feed, you can paste it here. It's the link. If you don't know it, one of the easiest ways is to just look up your podcast. I'm just going to think, and then put Apple Podcasts, and you can simply just grab the first link from Apple Podcasts. Just go this, copy this link, and just paste it onto here. But either way, if you have trouble finding, our support will help you find your link. You just say connect, and that's it. So the beauty is you're not uploading any content to our platform. We take all we need is this one link, which is your podcast feed or your Apple Podcast URL. I've already connected it, so I'm not going to do that. And then you do the same thing. For Twitter, you do the same thing. You connect. It'll pop up and say, does you want to allow repurpose access to your Twitter account? You say yes. Boom, you're done. YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the same thing. So I've already added them, so I'm not going to add them again. So those are one-time connections. So it's all good. You set it up and you're good to go. Next, the fun part, the magic, if you want to call it. This is where we had this idea of a workflow. So a workflow is basically one input, one action, one output. For example, take my podcast episodes, convert them to video, send them to YouTube. That would be an example of a workflow. So let's go ahead and create that exact workflow. So say, I'm going to give it a name, podcast to YouTube. You can call it anything you want, but I recommend as you create more and more workflows, it's better to name them properly because it starts getting confusing if you don't name them properly.
So I totally learned that, y'all. I totally learned that as I went along. Like I was doing it at first, but you can edit the name, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to show you that right now. You can always go into the workflows page, and here you can go ahead and rename a workflow to make it make more sense. Or you can edit it as well. So yeah, don't worry. If you don't get it right the first time, no worry. You can just rename the name and give it a proper name. But yeah, I always give that tip because some people just say YouTube, Facebook, and then it's like, well, what was that? Was that from YouTube to YouTube? And you lose track of what you're doing. So I always recommend, podcast to YouTube. Be as clear and simple as possible. All right, so I'm gonna go. So the first question is, what's your input? What are you starting with? I'm starting with an audio podcast. All right, and then if you have multiple podcasts connected, you can choose the one that you want. And if you only have one, then that's the one. You say next. So here I can choose what action I want to take. I want to go from audio to video, or if I want to upload the audio somewhere, I can do that as well. But since I'm going to YouTube, action is audio to video. Yep, that makes sense. And then you can choose whether you want the full episode, like the entire 10, 15, 20, 30 hour, whatever long it is. You want that audio entire episode turned into a video, or do you want to create what we call snippets or clips? So you decide that at this stage as well. So I'm going to just say full episode, and then I'll go in and do one for snippets and show you. Okay, next, the last thing is where we're going with this thing. So we have an audio podcast, we've converted to a video. Where do we want to send it? Yeah, I can send it to Dropbox, to YouTube, to LinkedIn, Twitter, etc. Since I called this workflow podcast to YouTube, I'm going to say YouTube. And then it says choose a playlist. So if you're organizing your podcast, if you're organizing your YouTube channel with different playlists, you can assign it to a playlist. Maybe call it podcasts or maybe whatever you want to call it, to be honest with you. But I always recommend organizing your content on YouTube so that you group things together where they make sense. So if you have like a video show and then you have an audio podcast, make different playlists all under the same account. If you don't want to, or you're not sure, you can just choose none, no playlist. That's cool too. And you can always reorganize it later on YouTube. Okay, and that's it. Say go. And so there's my workflow, podcast to YouTube. And if I go into the view episodes, these are all my episodes that I've ever published on my podcast feed. So just want to be clear, we haven't done anything yet. We haven't published anything yet. All we did was we just created the connection between our podcast and our YouTube account. We haven't actually published any content yet. So first question is, what is it going to look like? You're taking an audio to a video. How do you do that? What is it going to look like? How can I control what that looks like? So if you go into the settings, we have templates. We have 6 templates. You can upload your own templates as well. We have a document right here that describes how to do that. And we have templates in horizontal, vertical, and square. My recommendation is if you're going to YouTube, you would choose horizontal. If you're doing other platforms like LinkedIn and Twitter, you might want to go square. If you're doing IGTV, you want to go vertical. But so you would choose depending where you're going to. So in this case, we're going to YouTube. You choose whatever template you want. And if you're curious, I'll just show you what it looks like. So if you click preview, it'll load up a sample image. It's just a sample image. It's gonna automatically put your title here for you. So for every episode, it's gonna put the title right into the video. This piece is actually a moving audio waveform, we call it. So it's a moving piece of audio waves so that your video is not just a static picture. It has some moving dynamic content. And then this square image is your artwork for your podcast. So for those podcasters out there, you know what artwork is. You've designed it, you've uploaded to your podcast host. And if you have episode specific artwork, meaning you have a guest on your show and you upload the guest image, that's what's going to show up in this square. Everything else is almost like a background or a template. So you can control that. You can design your own and using Canva or any tool you want, and then upload that to our platform, and we will take your design, put the title, put the waveform, put the guest image, and then on top of your design. So it's fully branded the way that you want.
Okay, hold the phone. Hold the phone.
Yeah.
So we can do a layout and put a section of where we want the photo to be. Does it have to be in that exact section?
Yeah. At this point, yes. Soon, we're working on a template builder that gives you more flexibility, where you can move, like, I want my artwork here and I want my title here. That's coming in about 1 to 2 months. But now,
right now, we can do any background.
we give you, we give you the full spec. So we tell you, okay, this is X number of pixels away. We give you leave this space for the image, leave this space for the title, leave this space for the waveform, but everything else is
so you give us a template
of where the location of the 3 elements, the title,
okay,
the waveform, and the square image, like exact pixel location, 100 pixels by this pixels. And you can get that right here to download our template design specs. So they're here. You should click that, download. We have all the samples there, descriptions there. So anybody who's comfortable with a little bit graphic design, you can just use Canva and just whip it up very quickly.
And y'all know, if you need help with that.
That's right. That's right. So yeah, and then you would upload your own template here if you were to use your own template. And to be honest, I mean, you can change the color of the waveform as well. So like this waveform that you see you can brand it. If you have a purple or whatever color meets your brand, you can set that color as well, so that that waveform matches your brand. I'm going to leave everything as default for the demo. Just choose this template, for example, and hit save. There's more options. I don't want to go crazy and dive into too much, especially if this is the first time you're seeing it. Everything else, you can kind of take your time to go into it. But I will mention 2 things. One is, if you have a bumper video that you want to add to the beginning or the end of your content, you can upload it here and we can add that automatically for you. So let's say you have some animated thing of your logo video of 10 seconds long. You can add that to every video that we create for you in the beginning or in the end. So that's kind of a cool advanced feature. And then here's where you set the privacy, because you mentioned that you upload everything to your public YouTube channel. You have the ability to choose private or unlisted right here, and also the YouTube category as well. So you can set that all up here. And so when you publish, it goes to the right place that you want. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to just pick this one, for example. I'm going to hit publish. When you hit publish, you have the ability to control the title. We take all the information from your podcast. So, my podcast, this episode is called How to Repurpose Like a Ninja, and this is the description. It automatically takes all that information from your podcast episode. So you have to type it in again.
Right. So if folks write really good titles and really good descriptions, and they're full descriptions, and you've got, kind of your bio, everything in there that you would want to put over, it will bring it for you.
It will bring it for you and pass it on to YouTube. So when it goes to YouTube, that's the title on YouTube. That's the description on YouTube as well. So it's automatic. But of course, you can customize it. I can add more stuff to it. Learn more, repurpose.io. I can add whatever I want here as well. So you have the flexibility to do that and just add more or add, delete, whatever you like as well.
So one quick question on that.
Yeah.
Do you have to have that done before you bring it in, before it extracts it from wherever you're starting from? Do you know what I mean?
So basically, it's a great question. So when I make the workflow, podcast to YouTube, it's only going to show all the episodes that are live on your podcast feed. So if like some podcast hosts, have the ability to make drafts, like you save as a draft or scheduled content. Repurpose won't see that. Repurpose will only see everything that's live on your podcast, every episode that's live already published on your podcast. Once it's published, it shows up in the list. Once we show up on the list, we pull in all the information from that episode. Yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah, so you can tweak, customize some things here, add custom keywords for YouTube as well for that particular episode. So basically, the bottom line is you can tweak it on a per episode basis if you wanted to, but a lot of the information is already carried over from your podcast. You don't have to duplicate. You don't have to copy and paste. I hate that copy and paste business.
So if you use the same keywords over and over and over again, can you save them within here?
Yes, so you can save them in the workflow settings. You can add default keywords. So let's say, I don't know, repurpose IO, repurposing. Okay, those are, I probably spelled that wrong. Yeah, I did, but that's okay. So I can put default keywords in the settings. So every episode, when I hit publish, it shows up those keywords automatically. But I can add more keywords for this particular episode. This is episode specific. So you can save the default and then add more on a per episode basis. Because this could be an episode about video repurposing, and this one could be about audio. So I can add more keywords here as well, and this all gets pushed to YouTube for you. And so I can hit publish now, or I can say schedule. So I can say, hey, I want this to go out on tomorrow at 9 p.m. So we have a built-in scheduler for all our workflows. So you can schedule content to go out on specific days. But for the demo, I'm sure people are curious what it looks like. So I'm just going to leave it as published now and just hit publish.
So are you going to come back like once a month and we can like talk about where we're at in the process and we can keep going deeper?
There's so much we can dive into. I'm trying to touch the surface just to give people a feel for how it works. I'm going to publish this one because I know this one's shorter, just in case this one takes a long time. So processing time will depend on how busy the servers are, but more importantly, how long the episode is. So like an hour, from what I remember, it's like a 1-to-3 ratio, like 30 minutes will take 10 minutes to process, something like that. But the beauty is you don't have to sit here and wait for it. You just shut your computer down, go have a coffee, do what you want. Go do whatever you want to do. Shut your computer down, go watch Netflix. It doesn't matter. It's doing its thing on our servers. And then last but not least, once you've published a few episodes and you like what's going on, you can turn this magic switch on. So this is what we just did now is called manual publishing. So I click publish, publish, publish. But I can say auto. And what that will do is it'll take all my episodes and just throw them in the queue and basically get everything will start crunching and processing. So I'll have 20, 30 videos onto YouTube over the next few hours. So I don't recommend doing that right away. I recommend you publish 1 or 2, make sure you see the final product, you're happy with it. You have the right YouTube channel connected. People make all kinds of, finger mistakes. You've clicked the wrong thing or you're the wrong title. So I wouldn't suggest going auto until you're done. But once you're done, you can turn auto on and everything will go. And if you don't want everything to go, you can tell it here in the settings. You can say, you know what, only publish starting February 1st onwards. So that let's say you've already got your other stuff on YouTube and you don't want it. You don't want everything to go. I want everything in 2021 to go onto YouTube. So you can control it that way. And if I turn this to auto, it's only going to publish my new episodes going forward. Nothing earlier than February 1st, 2021. So you have that option as well.
That's because you actually put that date in there.
Yes, because you can control only auto publish. Where'd it go? Choose which videos to auto publish. I said only February 1st, 2021. So what that means is I can leave that date, turn this on, and then tomorrow when I go to publish, it's our system within an hour, 1 to 2 hours, it's basically checking your podcast feed for new episodes. So once you publish your new episode, your new audio podcast, within 1 to 2 hours, our software is like, oh, hey, new episode. Boom, get to work, crunch, 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 make a video, put it onto YouTube for you. And if you turn this option on, email notifications, it will send you an email. It will say, well, hey, your video is now live on YouTube. Click here to watch it. So it will let you know, if you want, to let you know that Repurpose has done its job and sent the video onto whatever platform. So it's fully automatic if you want it to be, and when you're ready for it to be.
That's a great way. So when you're in Hawaii and you're on your vacation and you're not doing anything and you're away from the snow that you're in right now, you would be able to get an email that said, yep, that thing that I scheduled last week is up. Is that right?
Exactly. I published it. I scheduled it. It's up. Or, if this is on auto, it automatically took my episode, it published it, and it let me know, yep, today's episode went live. So yeah, it's a nice way to know what's going on, especially when things are in auto or when things are scheduled. You forget. Or you schedule something for 3 days from now and you forget. So it reminds you. So you have the option to turn that on. Okay, it looks like it's done. This is a very short episode. So if I click on the eye icon, when it says done, I can click on the eye icon. It should open up YouTube, and we should have.
I actually really love that feature. I have to tell you, I just love it. If you go right to it, it's like,
yeah, it's convenient, right? You don't have to go search for it. You click, boom, you're right there. And then, it carried over the title, the description, and the video was done. We made this video in like a couple seconds, basically. So,
and that eye feature, like if you're storing stuff on, now I'm getting into another section probably, but if you're storing stuff like on a Dropbox or whatever, and you're going and trying to find that, and you're like, oh, I don't even know where this folder is. You just go in here and you click on that eye, and it takes you right to it.
It takes you right to that. I know, it's the small things that make a big difference. Honestly, it really is. That small feature just saves you the headaches of like, where did it go? Where is it? I can't find it.
So much crazy. I'm the ShortCut how-to specialist. Where's the shortcut? How can we get there quicker? What's the easiest, quickest way to kind of like have everything you need and get to it quicker?
Yes, absolutely. And it's tools are great, but if you can't find your content, you don't know what you're looking for or where to find it, it can get frustrating. So yeah, definitely this has been a great small thing, but definitely a big impact. Okay, awesome. So that's podcast to YouTube. We would go in and do the same thing for our podcast to Twitter, podcast to Facebook, our podcast to LinkedIn, and soon, fingers crossed, we can go directly to Instagram. That's something that we're hoping. We applied for permissions actually last week. Yeah, so they just opened up that capability in late January. Facebook opened up that ability, so we've applied right away. We've already kind of got it working. We've applied, and now we're just waiting for them to give us a thumbs up, and then we can turn that on hopefully in the next month. Okay,
let's take a quick break from the thing on the screen. Take that down for a minute. I'm gonna let you take it down on your side.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stop the screen. There we go.
Yeah. So before we get into, because the other piece I want to talk about is Facebook Lives.
Yes.
To wherever, right? to wherever, like literally.
To wherever and everywhere.
And everywhere. And then one of the things that I'd love for you to share on there is I have people that have memberships and they want to bring over like a month worth. Is it better for them to use a hashtag that says only these ones and create a different workflow for each month? Or should they create one workflow and change the hashtag every month?
So just to make sure I understand it, these videos are on a private Facebook group, and they want to pull it. They want to take snippets out and like tease them out. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you can just go manually, like go in and just go through the video and say, okay, this is the one for this month, because this shows you the date on the Facebook video when you went live inside Repurpose. So you can do it that way. Or I would say if it's the same page, then just keep it simple and just use the same workflow. One workflow, and then you just change if you want to add the hashtags, it might save you some time because we have a feature where you can hide everything else and only show certain hashtags. So yeah, you can do it that way as well.
Okay.
But I wouldn't create multiple workflow. You could, but it just gets too much. Then you start having way too many workflows. So keep one workflow, change the hashtag on Facebook, change the hashtag filter on repurpose so that it only shows this month's videos.
So if you could show that piece of how you would do that, changing the hashtag
Yeah.
at the end of the month when you're into a new month and you started with your new hashtag, so it can start generating those automatically for people.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll show that for sure. All right, should we jump in
Because
right
some
now?
people they don't want to see all their videos. Like I've got some clients that are they're older, possibly older, and they're like they get confused if there's too much presented to them.
Yeah,
So
it's
I've broken
overwhelming.
it down so they see this month's, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was trying to figure out what was the best way for me to kind of handle that and I love that. And I was making a new thing every time. And I think it was today while we were doing the first part that I came up with that question. It's like, oh, I could do the same workflow, but change the hashtag.
Just change it. Yeah, I would say I would keep one workflow, and then every month just go in the set. I'll show you right now. Why don't we just do that right now?
Yeah.
So I'm going to share my screen again. You might need to bring it up to
I will.
the live feed.
I will take care of it for
All
you.
right, sweet. Okay, so let's backtrack. So now we're trying to make a new workflow that takes a Facebook Live from a page or a group or wherever you want, and send it off to, let's just say Dropbox. How's that sound? Or you want to send it off to YouTube or anywhere you want. Really, it doesn't matter. But for the demo, I might do it to Dropbox so I can.
I think do it to Dropbox because it's super important that people keep a copy of their own. That's not on YouTube. That's not on Vimeo. That's not on, that's theirs that they have.
Yes. So I'm going to show it actually right to Dropbox, but I'm going to do a snippet. So let me explain why, because I want to show a cool feature with the captioning that we have. So, let's say Facebook Live to Dropbox. So I'm going to choose, so here you would choose Facebook Live videos. If you want just your regular videos, you can do that as well, but we're trying to do a Facebook Live. I think I want to see, I'm trying to think if I have hashtags set up on my Facebook videos or not, but we'll figure it out in a second. So I'm going to go from my Facebook page and I'm going to use the repurpose.io page. We have a bunch of videos there. And I want to upload these videos, and I can choose the entire video if I want to back it up, for example. Yeah.
Just so the people watching don't get freaked out. If you only have one page that you own and manage, you're only going to see one page there.
Exactly.
You saw Annie had a bunch, and if you looked at mine, I probably have a longer list. Those are admin. Those are pages your admin's on. You have to be an admin or the owner of the page.
Correct. Exactly. That's a great point. Yeah. So if you're only managing one page, you're going to see one option. Boom. Simple, easy, no worries. Yeah, I have a lot of test pages we have going on, so that's why my list is a little bit longer.
I know, yes. Techie people, we just do these things.
Yeah, we just love to be managing everything. We want to control everything. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm going to do snippets. Do you want me to do snippets? So I'll show you how that works. Kind of kill two birds, one stone.
Please.
Yeah.
I need
So let's do a little bit of snippets. So snippets are just short clips. So instead of doing the whole episode, we do a little clip, and you get to choose the clip. And I'll show you that right now. And then the last but not least, I'm going to decide where I'm going to send it to. So I'm going to say Dropbox. I can choose a folder here. I can click and choose a folder. And if I want to keep my content organized, I can say these are my Facebook Lives for January or my Facebook Lives for my page. So I can just
create the folder from here too, right? You can
you can create the folder here as well. So you can say create folder right here as well, or you can choose one from the list. I'm not sure if my pop-up shows up or not. Oh, it doesn't work I'm not logged in on this browser. It may not let me do it. So
that's okay. People can figure that part out, I think.
Yeah, it's straightforward if you're like logged in. I don't know my password. Everything's saved.
And if they need help, they can call me and I'll help them.
Yeah. So let's just leave it as none. It should be all good to go. And so if I say next, it's good. A lot of cool stuff's happening now. So again, we didn't publish anything. We have this cool workflow that goes from Facebook Live to Dropbox. So if I say view videos, these are all the videos we've ever published that were live videos. We do live trainings once every month or two. We've been a little bit busy the past recent months, but These are all our live videos.
That's because you keep adding new amazing features.
I know we get caught up in building more features, but that's not a bad thing as well. But a couple cool things. So one, if you have captions enabled, especially on a Facebook page, you can turn on the option on your Facebook page to automatically generate captions for you. Facebook will do it for free. If that's turned on, or you go in and you turn it on a certain video on your Facebook page, you'll see a CC icon here. If the video doesn't have it, you won't see a CC icon. There's no right or wrong way, but if you have a CC icon, you can basically we have a cool feature where you can burn in the captions right into the video. If you don't, you can just put in your own text in there, static text, like some kind of call to action.
Tell me the pros and cons to doing that, or the things we need to watch out for.
I'd like, if you can, where possible, use captions, just because it allows people to watch content without having sound. So if you're posting on Instagram, on Twitter, and people are scrolling their feeds and they're in a meeting and they don't want the sound on, they can still watch your content by reading the captions and following along. So the captions are burnt into the video. I can show you exactly what that looks like when I publish an episode. If you don't have the captions enabled on your Facebook page, or you don't want to go in and, because sometimes it's not perfect, you might want to go in and fix some things, or some people who have heavier accents, the Facebook algorithm is not very good. It's good, but it's not the best.
It doesn't know how to spell Cindy Lou.
Yeah, it spells my name wrong all the time, but that's okay. So it does require some editing if you want to go back in there and fix it. So if you don't want to be bothered, then you can always tell our software, hey, don't use the captions, just put a call to action, put some kind of text, learn more at repurpose.io. You can replace the captions with some just static text if you want, or you can have nothing as well. So I'm talking a lot, but I'm not showing. So let me show it. It'll start to make more sense. So first, you mentioned the hashtag. So maybe we'll cover that first. So the hashtags I'm trying to see, maybe if I can go right to the Facebook page, that might be a good way to do it. So this is the video. If you click, I'm not sure if you saw what I did. I clicked the title. It takes me right to the Facebook video as well. So you can.
That was pretty slick.
Yeah. So if you clicked on the title here, it will take you right to your Facebook video on your Facebook page. So what I wanted to do is edit this video. I always forget how to edit videos because Facebook keeps changing things.
We won't say this too loud, but that's way easier than trying to find it in Business Suite or Creator Studio.
Yeah. I mean, these are all great tools, but we try to make life a little bit easier. So if I edit this video, loading, come on, Facebook. So see the hashtag here? I put the hashtag in the description of my video. So if you were to do it in the title or description, you can go back to repurpose. I can say in the workflow settings, I can say, hey, only show me videos with hashtag repurpose. So when I save that, it should hide everything else and only show the ones with hashtag repurpose.
That is so slick.
So this is talking and it's distracting me a little bit, so I'm gonna.
Oh yeah.
It's hard for me to focus when I hear my own voice in my headphones. So there we go. So yeah. So what I did there, again, just to recap. So if you said, let's say the month of January, you would go into your Facebook group or your Facebook page, you would edit the videos and put the hashtag, January, February, whatever you want to know that these belong to that certain hashtag. And then in the repurpose workflow settings, you just say only import videos that have certain hashtag. And then you put that same hashtag and it filters and hides everything else so that these are only the videos for, just say, the month of January, the month of February. So next month I would go in and change that to February. I mean, I don't have a hashtag February in my content,
right.
But you would.
Yeah, you just change it to
yeah. So that's how that feature works.
That's awesome.
Okay, now the fun stuff. So I can take a Facebook video and send it to Dropbox in its original format. Like just take it as it is, do nothing to it, send it to Dropbox. That's cool. That's a great way to back up your content. Have a copy for yourself to do, whatever you want for training purposes, for membership sites, for, whatever you want to do with that content. Or if you're doing little snippets for social media, we recommend that you either go to square or vertical. So if you're doing IGTV or stories, you want to go vertical. If you're doing LinkedIn, you want to post it on Facebook, Twitter, we recommend square. So when you do that, there's a couple settings here, color wise and stuff. And our new update, actually, we're going to give you a preview so you can get a better visual, what it looks like. But just leave everything as default. You can change some coloring to match your branding, but I'm going to leave everything as default. And I'm going to say, burn the Facebook captions into my video. So I'm going to turn that setting on. So what that does is it actually burns the captions. If it has, for each video that's got the captions, it's going to burn it right in. It's going to say, well, let me just show you. So I'm going to make...
If they haven't done the CC, they can go and generate that and then reload it in here?
Yeah, they can go and turn on the CC on Facebook and then click the resync button here. And then the CC icon will pop up.
Awesome.
Then you know you're good to go. Or if you don't want to bother, you can just go into here and say the default subheadline text. So here it's like, learn more at repurpose.io, for example. You can have a call to action text so that if for videos that don't have captions, it will just revert to the call to action text and put that on the bottom.
To my people who are watching in the live online learning ShortCut HowTo's Facebook group, I just wanted to say thank you. I can't actually comment to you right now, but I will comment back to you later.
Awesome. Yes. So how do you make a clip? You just click the scissor icon. There's many ways to do it, but this is method number one. You click the scissor icon, it pops up the video. Then you can just drag these sliders here. Say I want, this clip here that's about 2 minutes long. If I know the times, I can just go ahead and edit the times and type them in here as well. But, most people want to kind of listen, play the snippet, make sure this is exactly where they want it to start, and give it a nice title. And he talks about repurposing live streams, which I'm not sure if live streams is one word or 2 words. I always look it up and I always forget.
Well, they would place it right there, and that would tell them if that's what they wanted before they
can. Yeah, they can play the snippet, and it will just play that clip.
Awesome.
So you know exactly where. And then I can go and say create snippet, and there's my snippet. So this is the title of the snippet. When I hit publish, it's going to be the title of the clip. And you'll see it in a second. Then by default, it's going to say use the captions from Facebook. If I don't want to, I can change my mind and say none. Or if I do my own transcripts, I can upload my own captions file here as well. So, if you have a team that does using tools like Otter or other transcription services, you can just upload a transcript here. We support the SRT format. You can upload it, and then we can burn the captions in. But the easiest way by far is to let Facebook do the captions for you. And if you say none, then it'll just pull in the call to action text that we saved before. But let's just do it with the captions. Hit publish now and let it show you what it looks like. It's pretty cool. So it takes it takes the video like the regular live stream we've done, and it'll make it. I forgot what I chose, square or. I picked square. So it's going to make it square. It's going to put a nice title across the top and burn the captions on the bottom. Really slick. I call them the Gary V style videos because I don't know what else to call them. But
Gary V style, I love it.
I don't know. Everyone's doing them these days, but it's super simple to do it with our platform. You don't need any like editing skills to do it. You just tell it.
Oh, and the reels on Facebook are not Facebook, on Instagram are like the same size as stories, right? So they could just do stories and then post it as
you can choose the and basically we say stories, but you're right, it could be reels. It's a vertical versus square.
Yeah.
So you can use it for anywhere. Like for example, Pinterest. I didn't know Pinterest does video. And if you're active on Pinterest, you can make these videos using Repurpose, make them vertical, because I think Pinterest supports vertical, and you can upload them to Pinterest. So once they're on your Dropbox, they're yours. You do whatever you want to do with them. Okay, it's going to take, this is about a 2-minute clip. It might take another minute or so. But while it's doing that, any questions? I can, and one last thing, I can create multiple clips. It doesn't have to be one clip. I can create as many clips from a single episode that I want. And the whole idea of, the whole reason why we added a scheduler, to be honest, was to support the snippets. Because you want to make 5 clips, but you don't want them all to go to YouTube or to Twitter all on the same day. So this scheduler comes in really handy with the snippets. So I would schedule this one for Monday, this one for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
And you create them and then you schedule them.
Exactly. So you got to make them first. So this is the manual way of making snippets, which means I just click the scissor icon. I can go ahead and choose another snippet, make my second snippet, and say, so that's the manual way. It gives you the most control, but it's also the most manual. We have another setting called auto create snippets, which means say, hey, you know what? Just grab the first 30 seconds or 60 seconds or 90 seconds and just make a snippet for me for every episode. That way, I don't care. I just want to share a clip automatically. So this is like the lazy approach.
Well, yeah, but that approach, when you're doing 2 or 3 years worth of, like, you've been making content for 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, 10, however long you've been making content, what a great approach to go in and I'm going to do this. I'm making 30 or 60 second clip that now can go everywhere of all your episodes, right?
Yeah.
And now you've got a pretty
new feature.
And you can start scheduling them out every week because they tell you got to keep your eyes coming back to it. Well, how are you going to do that? And so so I'm thinking out loud. Creating that, if I do that, I go back to all my videos and do that. Would I benefit me to burn in the link for them to get back to that? Or we would put that into the description, right?
Yeah, to me, honestly, clips are not meant to
send people back to.
Yeah, they're just meant to, so you're active in their feed every day. Your clips allow you to publish content daily, like not create content daily, but schedule content. So every day, this can go on Monday, this will be Tuesday, this will be Wednesday, this is Thursday, Friday.
So you don't worry about sending them back.
Yeah, it's not. Social platforms don't want you to leave. They don't want Instagram.
No. Staying within the social platform. Okay, so 2 things. I got 2 things happening in my brain. One, the clips that you send off to Pinterest, to Instagram, all of those, I wouldn't worry about sending them to the other platforms. But within Facebook itself, to kind of recycle what's in there, to do 30-second clips of everything and then schedule those out so that they're happening and sending you back to the original video.
Yeah, you can do that. You can definitely do that. You can tell it, hey, for the rest of the video, watch, click here and
you're going to add that in.
Add the link. It is manual work, unfortunately. Like you'd have to type it in.
Until you add it as a feature in the future, because it's a great idea.
Not a bad idea, actually. So, I mean, technically it's doable because we know the original clip. So every snippet.
You have the link already in the
system. Yeah, we already have the link. Brilliant. I like it. I'm just making a note right here. Send link back to original full Facebook video. So you're leaving them within the Facebook platform, but they can easily go back to the full video. I like that.
Yeah, Facebook to Facebook.
That. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, this is done. So that's cool. So let's see what it looks like. So this is the first video we published. It's taking my Dropbox. Let's hope it lets me sign in. I might have changed my password. Come on. Big money. Yes, I know my passwords. Or at least the computer knows my passwords. Okay, so it's loading up the video.
Thank goodness the computer gets to be our extra brain.
Yeah. So there we go. So this was the original video. The live stream. It burns the title. And it has a nice progress bar. And on the bottom, it's our live captions
Love it.
that I grabbed from Facebook. So this clip anybody can watch without having sound on because the captions are burned right in. And like I said, if you feel captions are overwhelming, you don't want to take the time, or you don't trust Facebook, or you're worried about you have an accent or whatever, no worries. Like that, you can just use that call to action we set up in the workflow settings. Here, I can tell it don't burn in the captions. Just use this call to action. Learn more at mywebsite.com, and that text will show up here as a call to action. It's not clickable, but it's visual. They see it when they're watching, and they're like, all right, I want to learn more about this topic or this person. They can easily just it's just visual branding.
Awesome. Thank
Okay,
you.
cool. So that was kind of the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
We there's so much more, and I don't want to dive into it and overwhelm anybody
Yeah.
watching for the first time.
I'm
But
actually
I
gonna
do want to mention is we have
okay, go
this
ahead.
course here. We have this course that's really helpful. It literally walks you through how to create everything I showed you here in the beginning, all the workflows. One video for go to YouTube, one video on how to schedule content to Instagram, one video on how to go to Twitter, one video on how to go to LinkedIn. One like it's broken down, very modular, how to turn your video into audio, and it walks you through step by step. And it's free. It's a free course. It's a free repurposing course, so you can get access to it here once you sign up for our trial, and we have a trial for our software as well.
Awesome. And I have a affiliate link, so you guys can do affiliate link with me. If you don't want to give me enough money to buy a couple cups of coffee, then you can go ahead and give all the money to Hani. I'm happy with that too. I'm happier if you give me coffee, but that's all right. Either way works good. I just want you to have your life be simpler, right?
Yeah.
There's no reason for us to have to fight and struggle to do business. We can do it when there's a tool that works as easily and as well as this. And I will walk you through. If you buy it through my link, you get me helping you to make sure you get it set up. So I'm an extra piece in addition to Hani and the Facebook group and his team of people who do customer service. So, and I have taken the course, and that was actually what made me want to bring you on, because I realized there was so much that I haven't been doing yet. And one of these days we'll have you back and you can go through mine and tell me what I should be simplifying.
Yeah.
Because I know I have got it way too confusing. I know I should be able to simplify so much.
Yeah, but honestly, like it's so but you're taking action. You've got things set up. Like people always worry about, oh, I don't have it perfectly set up, and then I'm gonna wait until everything's perfect. Whether you're creating content, whether you're repurposing content, just start doing, and then you can tweak this, fix this, that. But if you're not doing and you're waiting, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help your audience. It doesn't help your brand get out there. So just take action, get started, imperfect action, get started with it, and then improve as you go. I think you're still on mute.
I am. Yes, I am.
Oh, there you go. Awesome.
Typing away. So cindylou.com/repurpose will take you to my affiliate link, and you still get to have the free trial. And it's for, is it 3 videos? It's really for you to get
you can do 4 videos.
4 videos.
Yeah. So of any kind, whether it's audio to video or video to video, vertical, square,
whatever
you want. Yeah, you can run it 4 times. And it gives you a feel. It's the nature of the software. Well, like you'll know very quickly. Like I get it. I mean, you can take the course and follow along as well, and the link to the course inside your trial. But you'll know right away. Like I'm getting this. If I'm not getting it, I'm not sharing my screen anymore. But there's also this side, bottom left. There's a live chat widget. So if you're somebody online, it's in the app. You can ask for help. And also in the live chat, there's a whole searchable database of how-to videos. So you can type in, how do I do a podcast to Instagram? It'll give you all the video articles right there as well. So if you don't want to watch the whole course, or you're just looking for one solution, there's a video for every single podcast to YouTube, podcast to Twitter, podcast to this, live
And if you're
stream to
not
this.
sure what to look up,
Ask
don't
for
Google
help.
it.
Yeah.
Cindy Lewitt.
Cindy Lou, I like that.
That was one of my friends, one of my girlfriends who I actually did something with. She's like, I've worked on this for 4 hours. I am never Googling anything again before I ask you. She says, I'm not going to Google it. I'm going to Cindy Lewitt. So I took that. I'm going to use that because that works.
That's wild.
And it's
That's
only
awesome.
because I've been doing this stuff for 8-10 years, right? It's the experience.
Yeah.
And I can go into my Google, which is my brain, and see if it's in there. And if it's not in there, I can probably help you find it quicker on Google and tell you which ones not to watch.
Yeah, true. It's experience is key, right? You got to do to get experience. You try things, you try creating things, you try different softwares, you try different tools for live streaming. You got to, like, if you're not moving, you're not moving forward. You gotta move and you gotta try. But if you find something that works, then just double down and explore it further. But I always tell everybody, anything, take action. You gotta take action. You gotta start. If you're not starting, you gotta start.
Like, can't post in the Facebook group. There it is for the folks in the Facebook group. Get your own account at cindylou.com/repurpose. It will take you right over to the Repurpose site. So it'll immediately take you there. Awesome. Set that up for simple, easy, because I like ShortCut. Cool. Thank you so much. Hour goes so fast.
It did go by fast. And like I said, we just scratched the surface. I'm happy to, whenever later on, come back and we can dive deeper into certain aspects or just certain questions. We can also dive deeper into those as well. But I didn't want to overwhelm,
because there is a
powerful platform. There's so much to do.
So much.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Yeah, there's so much you can do. You don't have to be doing it all, but there's so much you can do with it. So start with the basics. Start with, if you're a live streamer, get your content onto YouTube, make a couple clips onto LinkedIn and Facebook. Start with that, and then add a third workflow and fourth workflow. Don't feel like you need to have 1,000 workflows from day one.
That's it. You can do one workflow at a time, and
just do one, get it working,
build one, get that shifted over. Make sure that's exactly how you want it, and then you go in and add another one. And you don't. I don't remember how. I mean, it was hours to go to Facebook, download the video, and then upload the video into YouTube. And all that time, you're kind of like waiting around, and then you have to add
type in the title, copy the description. It's just so waste of time. That's why I just do it with. I hate wasting time.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful for you coming. Thank you for being my inaugural pro.
I'm honored. Thank you.
We'll have you back as often as you want to come, because I know that we have so many questions, and your software is actually the primary one that I use to help creatives to repurpose. So.
Awesome.
You're my main deal.
I love hearing that, and I'm happy to come back anytime. Just let me know. We can dive deeper into like specific topics, or just do a Q&A, or going through your account and give some tips on how to improve it. Whatever you need, I'm happy to do.
So Flora writes, we can only do one at a time. Multitasking is an illusion. But here's the thing, Flora, with repurposing, you can only create one workflow at a time, but you could create 10 workflows one at a time, and then walk away, and it will publish them all if you put it on auto. I know, because I did 3, and I walked away, and it was on auto. And I mean, I literally had like every Facebook Live I'd ever done and every video I had ever done. It was so hilarious. I was just like, oops. But I did that while I slept. Overnight, it was done. The whole library.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even
what's
the worst that happened? You just go back and you just select all, and you just say,
even if you bought this and used it for 1 month and just did that.
Yeah.
Where can you for $25? Or I guess is it a little bit more, 30 if you just do 1 month? I can't
No, I
remember.
think it's 25. It's
25, yeah.
it's cheaper if you do the year, but yeah, 25 to do
Right,
25 per
$25 for
month.
a month.
It's a no brainer.
A no-brainer. Like, even if you just did that and got them all into a Dropbox and you had them for later or got them over to YouTube, one process is worth that $25 100 times over. So anyway,
Yeah,
enough,
absolutely.
enough. We'll let you go. We'll get to your kids, and I'm gonna keep going with my day. And you're on Clubhouse, so are you doing office hours there? Since we're
I'm yet to schedule them because we're about to release a very big update in 2 weeks that I've been just caught up in with the team and testing and
awesome.
but yeah, I want to set something up. What's today? I'm hoping by next week just to do office hours where we just hang out, just come and chat,
So what
ask
time of
questions,
day
and
are you thinking of doing those?
I have to experiment, but I think I might have to do it a couple times and try different hours, like maybe on a Tuesday. Thursdays are not good. Probably a Tuesday and or a Monday, Wednesday kind of thing for an hour. We'll see the response, see who shows up, how many people show up, and
I'm asking this. I'm asking this for selfish reasons because I'd love to help you um,
okay.
to do the room to help you moderate it and
Oh, that
do
would
the
be amazing.
virtual
Yeah, it's hard to
aspect
do.
of it. And but I'm in New Zealand, so it is now 10 a.m. for me.
Okay. Ah, that could be a
So if you're going
timing
to
can
do
be an issue.
morning, unless you're a super early morning person, yeah, so it's just a timing issue, and I would have to set
Yeah,
an
I never
alarm.
thought about
I'm not
that.
opposed to getting up once a week for you, seriously,
Okay.
but I need to
Appreciate
know
that.
ahead.
I would feel really bad though. I'm not a
If you
morning.
do
I
an
mean, we get
evening
up.
one, find an evening that you can do it.
Yeah, I think we have to experiment. 'Cause like you said, like there's gonna be conflicts with time, and people, would prefer sometimes, and people
I
like
think you need to
yourself,
do
they
a couple.
I
Do
need to
one that's
do a
a little
couple
more
and just see where it shows up.
spread
But
out.
honestly, I feel like I need to incorporate video into it. I mean, I obviously can't do that on Clubhouse, but I'm thinking almost like somehow my mind tells me I should be doing this on a like StreamYard and Clubhouse at the same exact time. So people who want to tune in audio can just tune in Clubhouse. People who want to see or want to, you
That's
know,
coming.
so
That's coming.
that's oh, that's
That's
coming.
coming.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
that's cool.
I believe that that's coming. The ability to do that. I don't
That
think
would be
Cindy
cool.
really sleeps well.
That's amazing.
So anyway,
Right.
thanks, Laura,
Okay, you're very
for
welcome. Thanks everyone. Thank you, Cindy
thank
Lou, for the
you.
opportunity. It was a lot of fun.
Until next time I do a shortcuts with the pros, we'll see you.
All right. Bye everyone.